page of the Daily Telegraph this morning to look through some of those stories and the others that have caught our attention this morning. Delighted to say I'm joined by self-help expert and organiser of the Peace Gym from Claverdon in Warwickshire, Jenny Critchlow. Morning, Jenny.
Morning, Phil. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you very much indeed. So, first things first, you tweeted about half an hour ago you were going to be on this morning, and you were going to try and include what phrase in your paper review this morning?
I'm getting in the Loch Ness monster, I swear, Phil. I've got a story that matches it, don't worry.
Have you? All right, okay. I'm sure we'll come to that in due course. Let me start with The Guardian here, and why you picked this particular story, facing fears, you taught yourself how to swim during the pandemic.
What this woman did, yes, she's called Fiza, and the headline is "Why I Finally Faced My Fear and Taught Myself to Swim During the Pandemic." It was a way of her coping with a chronic nerve condition. But I think it's such a beautiful way of looking at this pandemic, is that while it's brought out some of the worst things in us as humans, it's also brought out some of the best. And that when life throws us a challenge, it's a really good opportunity for us to grow and face fears. And she's done it. It was really, really amazing. You know, our body responds to difficult situations, and our character responds to difficult situations with growth if we let it and we face our fears. Good for her.
Yeah, well done. And it's inspiring stories like that we all need to hear about, as well as love hearing about. I think we all need that, don't we, at the moment, to know that that is going on around us certainly when we're in these challenging times. Second wave could come next year, claims the Daily Mail this morning, and we could have, it claims in its column this morning, a mini quarantine over the winter.
Well, it's saying that because of the winter weather, that can create a sort of mini quarantine as we stay in more, and that means there might be a wave in spring 2021. But it's really looking at how bombarded with fear we are at the moment. You know, every headline, I could have pulled a million headlines out that all made us frightened about something that might happen. And we've been told about a September. In fact, last time we were talking, Phil, there was going to be an August wave, and now there's going to be a winter wave, and now there's going to be a spring wave. And one of the things that's happening with our mental health is that our anxiety and depression rates are increasing, and one of the reasons is because we're so bombarded with messages that the future is going to be horrendous. And as we've just seen in the Woman Who Learned to Swim, there's going to be good and bad in the future, like there's always been good and bad in the future. We can't, that's just how it is.
And in terms of, I mean, you know, there is some sense in the article. There's some sense in that, isn't there? That actually, you know, with us all staying in a lot more, it's a self-enforced mini quarantine over the winter. And as soon as we do come out in the spring, that could be likely. That means we see another spread and therefore another wave off the back of it. I think that, you know, that in itself is actually quite common sense. Unfortunately, it's the way sometimes the way sometimes these things are written, and because newspapers need to sell copies, they do write the headline, and they get the as you say, the fear that comes in the headline. It's only when you actually sort of read down, you know, you go, well, actually, yeah, there's some sense in that. And actually, wouldn't we all would like to think behave sensibly and act sensibly because of that possible threat? A threat indeed that we're facing now, and why the measures that have come in force from Monday have been announced.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent for common sense, but common sense doesn't sell. Fear sells. So it's like read past the headline, see what it's really saying.
And there's also, I think, you know, very important at this time to kind of go, well, look, however nervous we are, we've also got to find individually, haven't we, the ability, almost the courage to kind of get on with our lives as well, because otherwise no one will do anything, will they?
Not at all, and understanding that we never know what the future will bring. We kid ourselves that we know what the future will bring. We make plans and we have diaries and calendars and get excited, and we don't know what the future will bring, but we never did. And we're just it's just a good opportunity to learn that, is that staying present and whole with now is the only thing we can know for certain.
And you're right about the future. No one, you know, we've never known what the future's going to bring. So why on earth we think we start that now? I don't know. Come on, let's get the Loch Ness monster in then. What are we talking about here?
Oh, thanks, Phil. You said it too. Loch Ness Monster. Tourist mates the 7th Loch Ness Monster sighting so far in 2020. I didn't know there'd been 6 before this. But it's really how lovely to think that you photographed the Loch Ness Monster and give us all a bit of a break from all this fear-based headlines. But this guy had no idea you captured the image, and I've spent 20 minutes. It is, Phil. It is actually a photograph of a large ripple. As far
is
as
that
I'm
what
concerned.
it is? Right, it's a ripple in the water.
I promise you, have a look. It's just a big ripple, quite far out. There's just nothing else, and it looks worse than any other Loch Ness Monster picture I've ever seen. But it worked. It was cheering to look at. It distracted me for a little bit. There's much less anxiety, and it's really using distraction and a little bit of a laugh to see that our attitude in this now moment is going to inform how we feel. So it's ever such fun.
Good stuff. Lovely piece. And you know what? We also sometimes we want to be proven right as well, don't we? And
oh, we love it.
Yeah, and the idea. Yes, see, told you there was a Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
All this time.
Yeah. And then we get people to agree with us because it makes us more right.
Yeah, and that just can gives us a bit of affirmation there, doesn't it? So Jenny, good to hear from you. Thanks very much indeed for your thoughts this morning. Jenny Critchlow from Clarendon, self-help expert, runs the piece Jim Her scan through the newspaper coverage this morning on BBC CWR. 13 minutes away from 8 o'clock.
Get tonight sorted.